Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long, and I feel like I want to travel on. There's a lonesome freight at 608 coming through the town. I'll be homeward bound.
We caught up with the magical world of Lionel at the Union Station in Indianapolis, Indiana. The man in charge is 48-year-old ex-record promoter Harry Turner of Cochraton, Pennsylvania. We asked him what he has here.
What do we got here? We've got a trailer that's custom made, and we call it the magical world of Lionel trains. And it's a big mobile display that goes up and down the highway coast to coast. And we've been running around the United States for about 4 years, in the United States and Canada. I think we've been in 33, 34 states so far, and a couple of the provinces.
According to the Guinness Book of Records, the magical world of Lionel is the world's largest mobile model train display. It measures 8 by 33 feet and was designed by Turner and his friend Ed Summers. Wherever Harry goes, crowds gather.
People really love it. I don't know the exact number of people that we've had through it, but it's around 1 million. And everybody just raves about it. We get big crowds everywhere we go.
As you enter, you are greeted by a gorgeous sunset and the skyline of Pittsburgh overlooking the point where the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers meet to form the Ohio River. This and the other attractive background scenes were painted by Turner's friend Peter Maruska. There's a row of buildings with the names of people and companies who contributed to the project. Next to the city scene is the Glacier National Park, which features a waterfall and wooden trestle bridge. Turner and Maruska used photographs from the National Geographic to get the proper look for the various parts of the country. Here we have mesas and buttes and the long hot summers of Texas and Montana. If you look closely behind the 2 Lionel oil wells, you will find a train in the middle of the desert. Jim Nelson built the oil refinery from a plastruck kit. The oil fields of the West segue to the hilly farmlands of Kentucky and Pennsylvania. From the farmlands, we go to the hustle and bustle of a small New England town. The JL Machinery Company is a copy of the factory which appeared on the Lionel showroom layout in the early 50s. Autumn in New England always seems so inviting. The hills are covered with leaves in shades of red, gold, and orange. And in this New England village, there is plenty of train action. Our trip around the display ends in Colorado ski country. Mountains and Minutes foam was used to shape the landscape. The snow is a blend of acrylic matte medium, acrylic modeling paste, and acrylic titanium white paint. Harry got the formula from Dave Ferry's book on model railroad scenery.
While it was still wet, I got this stuff from a arts and craft store called Diamond Dust, and it's ground glass. I just tossed it in the air, and it landed, and it gives you that little sprinkly stuff. And we have blue filters on a couple of the lights that enhance that sparkling effect.
Harry likes to run Lionel's reissue of the pre-war Blue Comet in the winter scene.
And people go through the display, and they'll go through all the different, spring and fall, and they'll be in the summer scenes. They get into the winter scenes, and Christmas sort of pops out right away. And I just think the tin plate fits in. I've even got one of the tin stations in there, too.
A mirror gives the illusion of greater space and twice as many trains. Accessories are activated by pushing buttons which are located all around the layout.
And, one button operates a crane, another operates a control tower, and these make it fun for the visitors that come to see us. They get a chance to get their hands on a little activity themselves. And you may come to one show and see T1s running, GG1s, Hudsons. You may see us at another show and you may see F3s and FMs running. It could be any combination. We also run inexpensive trains as well as expensive trains, the collector line trains. We run traditional trains too. We don't want to discourage mom and dad when they come out and see us that everything is unaffordable and they've got young kids.
Harry's original wiring was a nightmare. There were lots of wrecks and shorts, and finding the problem was almost impossible because the wires were not color-coded. Harry called in Dave Barrett of Deepotronics.
We went from 2.5 miles to over 8 miles of wiring in this thing, and it's really quite something. All the trains stop and start automatically. All the signal lights function. You'll see a red light, that train will stop. You get a green light, that train will take off. And if we have a failure, a mechanical breakdown of one train, it'll stop the train behind it without interfering with the rest of the trains.
400 feet of track make up 5 loops. The Deepotronics Watchman 2 and Watchman 3 systems allow 2 trains to operate on each loop. The control room, located behind the cab, contains 6 ZW transformers which supply the track power. About a dozen smaller transformers, located beneath the layout, supply power to individual accessories. The control room also houses the lighting controls and sound equipment. Turner used his experience from the recording business to set up the 750-watt sound system. To put that in perspective, most top-quality car stereos generate 200 watts. There are 22 speakers in the ceiling and several subwoofers beneath the display.
And you'll hear the screeching of wheels and the flanges, as well as the chugs and puffs and the roar of the diesel motors. You'll hear horns and bells, and just about every railroad sound that you ever could imagine you will hear while you're visiting.
Logs are kept telling how long engines have run, when they were lubricated, when the brushes were changed, and what parts needed replacement. The information is then passed on to Lionel, who sponsors the exhibit. A Freon-based cleaner is used to keep the track clean.
And, we just get out there with washcloths and soak them with the Freon and wipe the track down. That seems to be the fastest way that I've found. And on the trains themselves, we find that ink erasers work real well for getting the wheels cleaned up, and they don't leave any residue. You can just blow the rubber off after you've cleaned it, and that does a real nice job for us, and we use that a lot.